All right, Talifalav, everybody. Sorry for my late. We are this is our 8th week, our final week. Just FYI, you guys will get a if you wanted to, you can come back, anytime, unlimited in the future. So you'll always get an email whenever the next classes start. So the next ones are gonna begin November 7th. So it's like real soon, like a week or two away or something like that. And then it goes to like December. I don't expect a lot of people to be in there because it's holiday season. So there's Thanksgiving coming up, and Christmas time. So there's probably a lot of people, they would rather wait until January, which is fine. But um, so we'll have this 8 weeks this coming here, and then maybe sometime in January or maybe even February. I'm not sure yet. So, but again, this is our last week, and you're welcome to come at any time in the future. And okay, so we left off, we did this one. We did all of these. A class or O class, like La'u. What's the difference between La'u and Lo'u? Lao and Lo and all of that. Um, yeah, so if you guys have any questions, again, we're just doing review all today and then all Thursday, just straight review so that you feel comfortable, have the basics of Samoan sentence structure and putting things together in Samoan. All right. Limiters. Remember, limiters are what limit the noun. We don't put s's, like to say cars, we wouldn't say cars like cars, or ta'abales. We wouldn't say light, we wouldn't say molis, or we don't use s's. Okay, so I didn't realize that there's a big misconception among people that are learning the Samoan language that you just put an s on the end. So remember, on the end of a word. So remember, we don't do that. So let's just I guess we can do this together. Oh no, well, I can tell you what, let's take about to 8 after and just translate these to Samoan. Okay, I'll write the English word, I mean the Samoan word here on the side, so it doesn't take that much time. So you don't have to look words up. Or I guess I'll just say them. Car is ta'avale, ta'avale. Light is moli. Picture is ata, ata, or aka. Notebook is api, api. Boat is va'a, and I'm giving you the singular version because that's where the limiters come in at, so you would have to translate it. Toy is mea, like one word, like mea ta'alo. So a plaything, mea ta'alo. Ipu is a cup. Knife. Bank, fale tupe, and hospital, fale mat. So yeah, let's go to 8 after the hour, and then we'll come back to review. All right, so let's go with these subject phrases, and basically that's what these are subject phrases with our limiter. So how would we state our car? And we're talking about 3 or more people. How would we say our car? Inclusive. So okay, let me see. Someone's in the chat. O tato ta'avale. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna say o tato ta'avale. All right, so this is great. We're just missing one thing here. O tato ta'avale. So what we're saying is anytime you put a limiter in front of the noun, then we're basically making this. I'm sorry. Anytime we put a pronoun in front of a noun, this becomes a possessive. So instead of this being we, like we car, it's our car, our car. But the only difference with this, it's plural. This is a plural. So we're saying our cars. We're saying our cars. O tato ta'avale. So if we were to say, how we make this a singular car?
Ole tato ta'avale.
Yeah, ole tato ta'avale. So that's how we make it singular. So you see how we wouldn't a lot of people would just say well, they might say tato ta'avales. The all of that we have to throw that out the window when we're learning the way that we're learning, the formal kind of way. So all of the slang stuff we have to throw that out. But so that was great. Otato ta'avale is our cars, plural. But if we want to make it singular, ole tato ta'avale. And you can put any noun after that, ole tato tama, like when people go to church and they pray ole tato tama ilalangi, our Father, in the sky, up in heaven, ole tato, anything. That makes it singular. The le is what makes it singular. Okay, but without the le, then that's gonna be our cars, our cars. How about the light? The light. So if we have one, okay, in the chat. Ole moli, yep. Ole moli, yep. Ole moli. Ole moli. So and simple as that. So we have remember the O, just in case anyone's wondering why we have the O right there. The O is our noun tense marker. So anytime we're identifying something and it has no action or anything, we're just saying it is this, it is our car, or the tato ta'vale, it is the light. That's basically what the O is. We're just identifying what our noun is, or what our subject is. Ole moli, ole moli. So it is the light. It is the light. Ata or aka. Some pictures. How would we say that?
Oniata.
Oniata. Yep. O ni ata. So ni is the word, the limiter for some. So if we wanted to say some pictures, we would say oni ata. If we want to say the picture, we would say ole ata. If we wanted to say pictures, we would just say oata or oaka. So, but in this case, we're saying some, oniata. Awesome. This book, few ways to say it. We'll go to whatever way you have. This book.
Ole neapi.
Yep. Oleapi. And then we also have oleapi lea. Yep. Oleapi. Okay, so let me write these down. So we have olene. Lene means this. Okay. So that's how we limit the noun. So, oh, I'm sorry. Olene. Oleneapi. Okay. And then there's also someone said ole apilea. And I think someone else said ole apilene. There's other ways we could say it as well, but these are like the main ones that we've covered. So the Linné can go before or after, but remember, if it's gonna go after, you still need to make the api singular. So ole api Linné. So if we were to say o api Linné, I mean, you might hear people say that, but technically we have a plural api, we have plural notebooks. This. Okay. So it's kind of like in algebra, fifth grade or whatever that is, it kind of, it doesn't what do you call it? It doesn't agree. So if we're saying Linné, then we still have to make it a singular api. So singular notebook this. The notebook this. Or we could say Oline api or Ole api Linné. And then the other one is ole api lea. Lea is another way to say this. And again, you see that it's agreeing with we're still making it singular. Awesome. How about where is it at? Oh, those boats. Those boats. Someone has that already? Okay, no, that's AI. Oh, ova'a na. Yep, ova'a na. So there we go. So ova'a na. Yep. So it's those boats. So ova'a na. Anyone have any other way to say it? This is correct, by the way.
Onava'a.
Onava'a. Yep. So remember the na could go before or after. Doesn't matter. Onava'a. And I forget who asked, but basically Lene, Lena, I'm sorry, Lene. If we were so this is this, right? Lene is this. To say these, we would say one. We just dropped the le. And then to say this, oops, we say Lene. The same thing with Lena. Lena is gonna be that. But if we wanted to say those, like in this one, we would just drop that. So that's the difference between Lene and Lena. I'm sorry, Lene and ne, and Lena and na. So this right here is those. And if we wanted to say Lena, that's that. So that's singular, plural. Singular, plural. And if this is going to be a singular, then we have to make that we would say oleva'a lena. All right. So let me take that off. Awesome. Oh, someone said something in the chat. Ova'ala. Yep. So that's another way. So ova'ala. Kristen said ova'ala. So that's even further away. So if we were to just say, so if we were to say ova'ana, so we're saying those boats. But if we're saying those boats even further away, then we would say la, like over there. So if in a singular way, what's the singular way to say um that boat way over there?
Lila.
Lela, yep, lela. So instead of la, it would be lela. Lela. I'll copy this part. So lela. Awesome. And then if we're gonna use lela, we would have to, use that, make that singular as well. All right, so a toy, a toy. How do we say that? What limiter do we use? Oh, someone said it here. Osemeata'alu. Yep. Osemeata'alu. Right. So, boom. Awesome. Lava. Cup, my cup. How do we say that? Olawipu. Yep. Olawipu. Let me copy what Malia said. Olawipu. So, it is my cup. My la'u ipu. It is my cup. So, and it's going to be la'u instead of lo'u, just in case anyone is wondering about that. La'u instead of lo'u, because ipu, we can throw away our ipus anytime. Go, not ipus. We can throw away, our cup anytime and get another one. But so it's an A-class thing. It is a disposable object, inanimate object. So it's an A-class. So that's why cups are A-class. We wouldn't say, if we say my father, or my mother or my brother, we wouldn't call them ola'u. Ola'u tama, ola'u tina. That it doesn't sound right because those are O class people. They are people that are O class. Okay, knife, her knife, her knife.
Olana knife me.
Olanga knifey. Yep. Olanga knifey. Thank you for that. So, and lana just means his, her, or its. And in this case, we're talking about her. And it is an A class knife. Knife is an A class. It's inanimate, just like a ipu, like a cup. So it's lana. Okay. If we're saying her dad, we say olona, olona, tama. But in this case, we're talking about a knife that she can go get another one. So it's lana. Let me move faster. Faletupe, their bank. And it's two people. Two people. Ola, yep, Ola Faletupe. Ola Faletupe. Okay, so copy that. Ola Faletupe. Okay, so there's only one thing missing. So how does this read if we were to say Ola Faletupe? Okay, someone said here. Olela. Yep. Um, Ole. So we would add the le. So that makes it a singular. A singular. Now I don't think I ever heard laua. So laua would be like, to go on the back end. I'm not saying that it's wrong because Christian, you've been studying for a while as well, but laua, from my understanding, goes after the that would go after. So, but la is what goes before our you know before our noun. So this makes it a singular. So ole la faletupe. So it is their bank. The two of their bank. Okay. Someone said something here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So be if it well, I'll leave that for later because we do have that as a lesson or examples as well. And then this hospital kind of goes with the last this. So falemai. Oh, yep. So olea falemai. Yep. Olea falemai. So olea. Okay, so this hospital, another way is going to be olene falemai, ole falemai lene. Okay, well, I guess I'll just write it out real fast and then olene falemai and ole falemai lene. Awesome. You guys did great. Hopefully everyone understood these principles. Again, all we're doing is we're identifying objects. And we're making sure that we use the correct limiter. Okay. Le, ni, se, no limiter. Makes it plural, specific. If we want to say my, so it's my thing, your thing, our thing, whatever it is. All right. So that is that. Let me move on to okay, here we go. Oops. This is sort of the same thing. We'll go over this together. And you guys can just blur out the answer because we kind of got a lot of ground to cover. All right, so their love. How would we say love? Love is alofa, alofa, their love. And we're talking about two. So their love. Where's my thing? Oh, there we go. And I'll just pick a few of these and then we'll move on. So it's their love.
Ole la lofa.
O le la alofa. Awesome. So what we're saying it is, and then la is the way to say them too or they too. And then alofa is love. And the reason why the le isn't there is because it's singular. It's singular. Now, if they got, I guess, if we wanted to leave it out there like that, or la alofa, like their loves, then that's a whole different context. That's like a whole different conversation. But if we're saying like, their love between them two, then this is more likely the way that you're gonna hear it. Unless it's like tabloid stuff, then you would take the lead out. But you see how one small little thing can change the whole conversation, right? But we're on this level right here. Ole la, and then alofa. Let's pick something kind of different. Our inclusive house. Our house. How would we say this one?
Ole tato fale.
Ole tato fale. So awesome. So it's the singular house. Ole. So let's explain it like this. If it's a singular house, it's exactly how it was said. So ole fale, right? And then so that is the house. To say our house, then we need to put the pronoun in front that makes it our. So we, or us is going to be tato. But when you put it in front of fale, it makes it our. So ole tato fale, our house. Hopefully everyone saw how we did that. Ole tato fale. So it's our house. And let me get one more that's kind of different. Your to okay, we haven't did a your. Okay, wedding is fa'a ipoiponga. I always have trouble saying it. That's why I picked it. Fa'a ipoiponga. So it's fa'a ipo. Fa'a ipo is just to marry, but fa'a ipoiponga is a wedding. Like that's a wedding. So how would we say your two wedding? Oops.
Ole lua fai poipona.
Yep. Ole lua. So lua is you too, but then if we put it in front of the noun fa'a ipoiponga, then we're saying your wedding, the wedding of you two. So, and it's a singular wedding. Is you get married once in this context right here. So it's the singular wedding of you two. Ole lua fa'a ipoiponga. All right. And just as a side note, there's a lot of words. If you see fa'a ipuipo, which means to marry, but and we talked about this, I think, last week. When you add a GA on the end of most verbs, it turns into a noun. So in this case, fa'a ipuipo is to marry, but fa'a ipuiponga is a wedding. Okay. So just as a side note. Let's
I
move
think I
on
need
to
to correct myself.
oh, okay, go ahead.
Is it ole olua?
Some people okay, so with Olua and Lua, some people they use them interchangeably. So some people say Ole Olua. I always hear like Ole Lua. So
Okay.
Lua, like before the before the noun, if we're doing it like that, or if it's like before the action, then it is Lua, but then after the action, Olua. But again, I hear people use Olua like in front and back like it doesn't matter. So I'm definitely not gonna say that's incorrect because I do hear people saying that.
Got it.
So Olelua fa'aipuiponga. All right, so let's move on. I probably need to go faster. Okay. Okay, so this one is important. Let's do these together. So on this exercise, based on the English translation, write the number of the correct Samoan possessive from the list below in the blank of the Samoan sentence. All right, so I don't see a blank here, but basically our options are la'u, which is my, sa'u, which is also my, but it's non-specific. Okay. Sana is his, her, or its, non-specific. Sao is your, non-specific. Lana, so anytime you see L is going to be a specific. So that's his, her, or its. specific, and then lao is your. So we'll do this first one together. So if I were to say eleai ta'avale, okay. So if we wanted to make this statement say you don't have a car, you don't have a car. So over here is basically saying not, or it's a negative car. So if we wanted to say you don't have a car, how would we turn eleai ta'avale into the Samoan statement where we're saying you don't have a car? Eleai, and then I didn't hear the last part.
Lau ta'avale.
Okay, yeah. So if we're being specific about it, then we
My bad.
okay.
Sao.
Sao, yeah, eleai sao ta'avale. So this one might not be as clear of an exercise. This one came from the University of Hawaii, but I believe they actually had the spaces in here. So it would say eleai space ta'avale. So we would have to pick one of these, and it is just like you guys said, you and Malia, it's supposed to say sao, sao, eleai sao ta'avale. So not have, and then sao your ta'avale, car, not have your car. But in translation to English is going to say you don't have a car. The sao just means your, but it's non-specific. So a car. So remember, like when we were saying le and se, so le is the, but se is a. It's the same thing with lao and sao. So if I were to say lao, then this is your. Sao is also your, but this is non-specific. Non-specific. Same is, so it's pretty much a principle in the Samoan language. So if we were to say lau, lau is my specific. So if I say lau ta'avale, I'm talking about my car. This is my specific car. You know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. But if I ask, I sao ta, well, I wouldn't say sao because I'm asking you, do you have a car? So I would say sao. All right. But for the purpose of this example right here, I would just let me just say sao, okay, which also means my, but it's non-specific. So I would say eleai sao ta'avale. So that's just, I'm saying I don't have a car, like one of my cars. So basically, maybe I have multiple cars, but I don't have a car that you can use right now. So sa'u. But if we're talking about a specific car, then I would say la'u. So it's a small contextual difference between la'u and sa'u. This is non-specific. That is specific. You know exactly the car I'm talking about. I know the car that that I'm telling you about. So that same with lao and sao. You're specific. You're non-specific. All right. So let's do a couple more of these, and then we'll move on. Unless you guys want to hang on to this. Okay. I don't have a car. How would we say I don't have a car? Eleai sa'u ta'avale. Awesome. Eleai sa'u. So in the sa'u, because we're saying my. And again, this is just sentence structure. It's a different sentence structure where we're starting with the tense the leai. Nobody told me this. I just figured this out on my own. So I won't say that this is absolutely correct or not. But remember, ei means to have or possess, right? ei. But if I say le ei, remember the le cancels out the action. So le ei, right? So if you put them together, you contract it. So it's going to be eleai. So not have, not possess my car. So, and just in translation is we're going to say I Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying leai up there. This is supposed to be I have a car. E iai sa'u ta'avale. E iai sa'u ta'avale. So my bad. I'm getting okay. So e iai I'm sorry. This is have or possess, and then what we want to say that I have a car. So and it's just like what was said is going to be sa'u. Okay. This one here is you don't have a car. Just like ele hay sau ta'avale. All right. What's kind of a different one? He doesn't have a car. Let's do the last one and then we'll go to the next slide. He doesn't have a car. Yep. Okay. So we're saying, oh, I lost my thing. All right. LAI. So not have his, her, or its car. Not have his, her, or its car. All right. He doesn't have a car. In this case, we're talking about he, so he doesn't have a car. So this confuses a lot of people because it's flipped around, but you're going to hear this every day because people ask you for stuff all the time. They're going to say, or they'll say, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. So in this case, he doesn't have a car. Not have his car. And it's a non-specific. We're not talking about a specific car. All right. The rest of these are kind of similar. You just kind of have to know the difference between la'u and sa'u, lana and sana, sao and lao. If you know those, then you're in good shape. If not, again, just hang around after class. We'll talk about it. They're all okay. So this is the main thing that we've been talking about. Tense, action, subject. Mainly we've been talking about this because we don't do this stuff in English so much. We don't have tense markers that are separated from the action for the most part. In Samoan language, it's exclusively like that. You're going to take our action or our verb, and for the most part, this stays the same. But if we want to make tango fie, which means expensive, tango fie, and if we want to make it past tense expensive, so it's going to be was expensive, and then oletao sanga. So the only thing that I guess it kind of doesn't make sense. Maybe in poetry, but whenever we have our tense, action, and subject, we're just gonna drop this O because now remember this is our O noun tense marker. We already have a tense. This is our tense over here for each one of these different phrases or sentences. We already have a tense, so we just drop this, all of that. I guess it makes sense. It was an expensive year. The year was expensive. So the way that we would state it is just na tangofie le tausanga. Na tangofie or na kangofie le kausanga. We just drop the O in all of these. We don't have to say it because we already have a tense. Basic principle. If you got that, you're doing great. So both of these are past tense. Sa, I guess we can knock out a couple birds with one stone. So this is past tense, over and done. It was an expensive year. That year was expensive. Sa is also past tense, but we're kind of going back and we're saying was mamau. Mamau is like far distant, was far, and then our soap is these aren't really I just kind of put any subject here, any action, and then I just threw some tense markers in there. So our soap was far. it makes sense, but I could have made more sense so that people could understand. But basically, whenever you're writing or you're doing your own exercises, just take a bunch of tenses, match them up with action words, match and then put a subject after it. And then if you practice that over and over and over, this is the part that most new speakers and most new listeners are having trouble trying to comprehend, because like if we go back up here, the year was expensive. The year was expensive. But we're gonna say uh you know expensive the year. That throws a lot of people off. So it really just takes practice over and over and over, writing in tense, action, subject form. So every day I would wake up and write, maybe a sentence or two in Samoan in this format, tense, action, subject at first. And then I would switch it over to tense, subject, action. And just over and over and over until I was just writing pages of, Samoan. Another way, this one is a little different. We have imato, imato. So remember, we can say pronouns after the action, but we have to use the correct pronoun. So in this instance, we're saying ua. So this is present tense, and that's our update. Almost like when someone asks, well, what's up with what's up? What are we doing? And then ua siva. Well, siva might turn into, for most people, sisiva, like a plural. But we won't worry. I won't worry about that right now. So tense is ua, siva is to dance, and then we're saying oi mato. So we or us, and this is the way that we say it after the action, right? Imato, that's how we say we or us after the action. That's an exclusive way. The way to say I after the action is au. The way to say them too, ilaua. That's after the action. So we have to make sure that we're using the correct pronouns after the action. So that's the purpose basically of this slide is tense, action, subject. Pronouns can be said after the subject, but you have to use the correct pronouns. All right. Now, if we were to go to tense subject action, if we were to do it this way, and you're writing every day and you're making your journals or whatever it is you're writing, if it's going to be tense subject and then action, the only thing that can go right here in terms of subject, it has to be a pronoun. It has to be a pronoun. So, and if it's going to be a pronoun, it has to be the correct type of pronoun. So instead of au is how we said I after the action. Okay, but before the action, we have to say oh, na oalu, na oalu. We wouldn't say na aualu, because we say that after the action. In Samoan, we say na oalu. So I went. Sa e ai. Sa e ai. You were eating. You were eating. Sa e ai. So the only thing, there's no action right here, because the only thing that can come right here is a pronoun. Tense, subject, action. Everyone get that? The only time you can, the only thing that you can say before the action, if it's not the tense marker, is a pronoun. And it has to be from that list of pronouns that are said before the action. All right. Okay, let's just take let's take 3 minutes to do pick two. Pick two to do, and then at 48 after the hour, we'll come back and we'll review this. This is just translating into Samoan. The boy closed the door. My dog ran to the field. I understand the class. Mom wrote the letter. Shiaki wrote the letter to Esera. So just 48 after the hour, then we'll come back to go over it. And I'll write the Samoan words over here in case you don't want to look at them up. Okay, time kind of went fast, but let's see what we got. So the boy closed the door. The boy closed the door. Anyone have that one? Awesome. So we have na tapuni e le tama le faitutoa. Awesome. Okay, so I'm just gonna. So we have the boy closed the door. So it's past tense, action, tapuni. Then we have two subjects. We have le tama, the boy, and then we have le faitutoa, which is the door. And then who closed the door? The boy or the door? The boy closed it. So we have le tama. So and then we didn't really go into depth so much about it, but a lot of times you'll see whenever you have one subject doing the action to another subject, you'll see the suffix on there. So it might say like that. Nata punia ele tama le faitotoa. But that's awesome. If you got that, then if you got it like that, awesome. If you got it with the tapunia, awesome as well. My dog ran to the field. My dog ran to the field. How about that one?
Nā tamo'i lau maile I le malai.
Oh, yeah, okay. Na tamoe. Let me see. Okay, there we go. Na tamoe. And then la'u maile I le malai. Awesome. So what the heck?
Control Z, Control Z.
Yeah, I did that, and then it did something else. Like it went back to something else. I'll just write it again. It'll be faster. Na tamoe. Na tamoe la'u maile I le malai. So this one, because the action is going to a location, and this was kind of a trick because it's like, double subject, so you're thinking but since the action of tamoe, so we have tense, and then our action is tamoe, and then we have a subject, la umaile, my dog, but then the action of my dog, tamoe, is going to the field, I le malai. So this is the location. All right, so it wouldn't be necessary to say um you know to say e la maile for this case because we have one subject that's doing the action to a location. So this is our location phrase. I le malai. Okay. Um all right. So I understand the class. I understand the class. Hopefully. E malama lama a'u I le vasenga. Yep. Okay, awesome. So let me copy that. And then also ote malama lama I le vasenga. Either one. So oh, I'm glad you guys got that. So you got the before and the after. So I think this one is Christians or no, that's Malia. And then I'm gonna copy yours. So we're saying the same thing. It's just we're using different sentence structures. So we have tense is ma lama lama is to understand. Au is the way that we say I after the action. And then our location is ile vasenga. Okay. So that's one way to say it. Another way we say ote. So I and then ma lama lama is our action, and then ile vasenga. So we're saying the same thing essentially here. It's just a different I guess voice inflections would be used. That's a little, contextually it's going to be slightly different. Let's do one more of these. Let's do the more difficult one. Shiaki wrote the letter which is essentially the same as number 4, but then it's going to Esera. So did anyone do number 5? Okay, let me see. Natusi esiaki letusi e esera. Awesome. Okay, and we'll talk about let's talk about how that is. If I can paste it. Yeah. You already know I was gonna, okay. It won't let me paste it. Okay, here we go. So natusi, so wrote, and then we have shiaki, and then we have letusi. So wrote, shiaki, the letter, letusi. So who wrote the letter? Did the letter write the letter, or did Shiaki write the letter? We know Shiaki wrote the letter, so that's what we mark Shiaki with the E. So natusi, Shiaki, letusi, and then ya esera. So if we were to say esera, it wouldn't make sense because esera is somebody's name. Remember, proper nouns, people's names is going to be ya, just like Maria says. So natusi eshiaki letusi ya esera. So this is going to be our location. So locations that are proper nouns, names, months is another one that starts with ya. Those are gonna tense, action. In this case, again, 2 subjects, and the subject doer is the one that gets marked with the e. And then our location is in this case is gonna be a name. So it's ya esera. If it's a common location, common noun location, it's gonna be I le malai, I le vasenga. Ile, whatever the common noun is, it would be E. But in this case, we're saying yeah. All right, let's see if we can squeeze one more thing in there. Uh, uh maybe not. Okay, so I guess, but we'll go ahead and do it. If anyone wants to go, that awesome. That's okay. So in this case, sa ave mose letusi kai. So what we're doing is we're just putting the correct markers in here. So Mose gave the book to Kai, and this is pretty much the same exercise as the last. So if we have 2 subjects, the doer gets the e. If it's a location of the action, then we're either going to say ya, ya te. Okay. So sa ave, and then blank Mose, blank letusi, and then Kai. Mose gave the book to Kai. So sa ave Mose. Does anything go before Mose? Sa ave. So gave. In this case, we'll just do this one and then we'll hang up. So we have 2 nouns, right? Or 2 subjects, and we'll pick up here. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Emose.
Mose, sa ave mose. So that's the doer of the action of to give. Past tense give is gave, right? So sa ave mose, and then does anything go before letusi?
Ile tusi.
Okay, so if we say ile tusi, and then what about kai? So it's going to kai.
Ya kai.
Yeah, kai. Okay. So the awesome. Only thing is, we wouldn't need is ile tusi, because if we say sa ave mose ile tusi, so we're saying Mose gave to the book to Kai. So
Oh,
so we wouldn't need that. So that's how this exercise go. We'll start Thursday with this exercise, and then we have there's like probably 20 more exercises after this. I'll try to condense them down and then move a little faster so that we can get the most out of our last class. But we'll end it here. If you guys have any questions, just hang around. We'll talk about it. If not, then I'll see you guys on Thursday. After Lava, Manuel Po, Manuel Aso, if you're over across the water.
Okay, Baftai Lava.
After Lava, Faso Fua. Fa. Yep. Yep. I'll leave it right here. Well, doer and sender. I have to say that for myself so I know where to start. Doer and sender. Doer and sender. Okay, we'll start here. Fa. Oh, I missed them.